Hi, I'm Sharon.
And I'm Keith.
And welcome to Reels Across the World. So this one we are doing the episode that goes from Iguazu Falls on the Argentinian side, flying to Buenos Aires and straight out to on the boogie bus to Montevideo. So it's mainly about Montevideo, but just our experience. We had a really cheap flight if we flew at 3:30 in the morning for some reason. So we were on the Argentinian airline. We thought if we checked in early they would take our luggage and we could just go and hang out in the airport lounge, and so we didn't really have a long wait anywhere but the airport lounge, maybe a little bit before when the airport lounge was due to close. Unfortunately, it didn't matter. It didn't work because they wouldn't let us go through. They wouldn't take our luggage, so we ended up buying food at the airport. We did find a really nice co-working space as part of the airport. It's a nice airport, and we found two really comfy chairs. We were so lucky, so it was worth getting there early, to be fair. So by then it was about 9:30. We went to sleep until 1 o'clock. Well, I went to sleep. I curled up in a little ball in these comfy chairs.
I wasn't quite so lucky.
You didn't sleep so much, but hey, it was actually relatively reasonable. I just literally put the coat over me and off I went. And then we checked in because the check-in desk was just over there, so we checked in and everything was fine. Flight was fine, flight was on time. We arrived in Buenos Aires and then we just got the local bus because we still had some money on our card, on the Sube card, and went straight to the boogie bus depot, port, which was really close to the pretty close to the airport.
Yeah.
So that all worked well. We got there early, which was great. We weren't able to check in immediately, but then we did. And then obviously they take your luggage, they stamp your passport, so you're already sort of actually arrived in
Very easy, very
Uruguay.
efficient.
Yeah, very efficient. We were going through Colonia.
Yep.
Because it was the cheapest way to do it, and then we got the bus rather than the express one, which was still nice. We managed to see a little bit out the windows, and we also got a little bit of sleep as well. So by the time we got to Montevideo, it wasn't too bad. Arrived at the bus station. Cabify and Uber both work in Montevideo, so it wasn't that expensive just to get to the old town. We'd booked the Wyndham by Wyndham.
At the bus terminal, there's sort of an official taxi rank road, and then just past the taxi rank road, there's a pickup point that Cabify.
As I call a Cabify, they tell you where you need to go. So it was very easy, very efficient, nice electric car. We went in, and then we arrived in our hotel. We were able to check. No, we didn't check in straight away, but they took our luggage, and then we had a lovely wander around the old town, got some food.
Yeah, we went to Mercado del Puerto, which is a very famous location. It's basically it's a beautiful structure that is made of Liverpool steel, and includes a lot of very famous restaurants. Not much for vegetarians though. It's really a meat eaters.
Free wine, though.
Yeah, there's a little bit of free wine which Sharon did manage to nab a bit of. But if you were a meat eater, I would think it was close to heaven. But for us, it was a little bit tricky to get a meal there. But worth going to because a beautiful building and definitely worth seeing.
Yeah. So we continued to wander through the old town area. There's a few museums that are free. Not that we've had time to go into them at that point, but we took lots of pictures, hung out. It was just a really nice vibe. Then we did check in properly, and then we were able to chill. In the evening, we went to our hotel was pretty near the water, and they had the most amazing sunset. And it seemed that everybody was just hanging out by that beach. It's a small beach. But the views were amazing, so we saw some
there's
really
a couple
nice
of beaches.
sunsets.
There's a larger beach, but we were by this sort of tiny little beach.
And the sunset was just there.
And the sunset was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, nice atmosphere. People mainly drinking mate tea, and some drinking a few things that are a little bit stronger. We may have had something a little bit stronger, but really romantic. Yeah, nice little thing. So the next day we'd arranged that we would hire the free bikes from the hotel. We kind of booked that hotel because we knew it had free bikes. Had a lovely breakfast on the rooftop. They have a really nice rooftop there to have breakfast, and then we went off on the bikes. You get 2 hours free cycling with those. We just did the Ramblers because it's just the best way to do things. So more beach, more people skating, getting a general vibe. Went up to the Montevideo sign. Pretty much came back from there, saw the little castle that was built into the wall, which is called Castillo
Del Alcuina, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately it was a Monday, so it was closed, but we couldn't go in. But it's still very impressive and really unusual. It's like, what's this random castle kind of in this middle of the modern bit. We then cycled into a park that had another little castle with a library in it, which is quite interesting.
Parco del Rodo.
Yeah, and we went to the old prison that's now a shopping centre.
Which is,
It's got
testing
this
me,
very red shoe outside.
Pinto, something or other. But
We'll put it below.
We'll put it in the notes. But it's basically, it used to be a prison, and there's a memorial to those. Like most South American countries, there's a history of dictatorships and disappearances that's obviously still very much in the memories of the people there, and there's a memorial to those who disappeared from at the prison. So actually, quite moving, quite worth going to.
Yeah, and then we cycled more into the more modern Newtown part where the obelisk and the three crosses are there.
Yeah, the three crosses. There's a memorial to, or a commemoration of the visit of the Pope, which was also obviously quite a big thing.
And then we pretty much went back, gave our bikes back, and then we continued to wander. We went to the Mirador, which was the nicest Mirador.
Yes.
Really nice, with amazing lifts.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it was there if you didn't. You could easily miss it. We actually did miss it the first time we walked past it. We just thought it was a council building, and it is a council building. You basically go in and you get sort of ushered past through the sort of people waiting for
to pay their council
claims
tax
and pay
or
their
something.
council claims or whatever it is, and you get sort of ushered through to this free mirador that it takes you up this amazing lift to this to the top of the tower, and amazing views across Montevideo. So that is well worth doing, and actually very, very easy to miss if you
there
is
is actually a lot of free stuff to do in Montevideo, so don't think of it as being expensive. We kept within a budget. We did eat empanadas from the shop, and just had sort of more cheap food because we'd had a good fill at breakfast. We didn't go crazy on food.
Yeah, we went round after we'd gone to the Three Crosses. We then went along the main drag, and then we went up to the Congress buildings, which is very impressive, and then back round through the port.
Yeah, it was quite a hike actually getting there. Well, cycle.
We were hiking at that stage. We were walking. So we walked up there, and then we walked through the port area. Probably the port area felt the dodgiest, probably, but still perfectly all right in the middle of the day. Wouldn't have wanted to do that at night. And then we walked back into the kind of central Old Town area. Yeah,
you could see evidence, I think, because they have. I assume it's the whole of the country, but cannabis is legal out there. So I think there might have been a few people that were smoking it, and that's why they looked the way they did. And we also went to the coffee shop that was a pharmacy, and that's really
the Farmacia, which is very very famous. We went to quite a few coffee shops while we were there. We actually walked on our walk. We went to some of those in kind of suburban areas. Lots of coffee shops and bookshops together, and a lot of them are very, very beautiful. Nice. So it's worth sort of going along and.
We got a map from Tourist Information, which is always our favourite. If you can find a Tourist Information, get a map, get their advice. It definitely saves you a lot of time. I know you can look up stuff online as well, but there's nothing like that sort of personal touch. If you can find it somewhere, it really helps, and it's a nice little souvenir to have. Yeah. To have that. So transport wise, we just used our feet and our Cabify for transfers, but other than that it was the bikes that were free, and but there were buses are pretty cheap. I think they have a card as well, but we didn't use those. I think our hotel was in a great situation, wasn't it?
The other thing that's great about Montevideo the museums are free, and there's some really good ones. So we didn't do tons of
them on our
museums,
third day, didn't
but one which we definitely would recommend is the Gaucho Museum, which is in the former Ministry of Finance building, and it's a sort of mix of Gaucho history and how the Gauchos were involved in the creation and defence of Uruguay. And they also have a sort of history of money within Uruguay. So it's just a very interesting, museum.
I almost found that just the building and the old bank and the history,
Yeah.
they'd kept all these tellers, which was really interesting. You could see all this money going, like really old money. I found that almost more interesting than the Gauchos, to be fair. The Gauchos was interesting. They had it was mainly the artefacts they had through time, which maybe because I'm old, I just really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Definitely worth doing. We also had a look at the theatre from a distance and things like that. Didn't go in, but I'm sure that would be quite remarkable if you did book something, if you're into orchestras, if you had more time. There was a couple of other museums that we kind of wanted to go to. Oh, we went to that nice palacey place.
Yeah.
That was very interesting. We'll put the link of what that
Yes.
was called.
I don't have that. I don't have the name of that on the tip of my tongue. So I'll put that in the we'll put that in the notes. And
I think
but
that was also
that was
free.
it was an art museum, but it was also I think it had been designed by the person that designed the Versailles Palace or something. So it was very French architecture, but a very beautiful building. And
really
inside there was
hotel.
lots of artwork as well. So actually, definitely worth a visit.
Yeah. So we could have done with another day. To be fair, we were there 3 nights, and the time went pretty quick. But yeah, really enjoyable. Definitely can do on a budget. So don't think going to Montevideo. It sounds quite exotic. I think we didn't go to the Port d'Este, which is a little bit more. I think I don't know if calling it Monaco would be, but something like that kind of thing with all the nice yachts. We had met some people in our hotel that said, yeah, they did go, didn't think it was so amazing. But Colonia definitely looked. It was a bit of a shame that we didn't choose to spend some time there in hindsight, but you can't do it all. And then when we got a Cabify in the final morning, straight to the boogie bus, and we took the express one, which meant we didn't go via Colonia again, which was really efficient, very modern, really enjoyed it. And the top tip is that if you go in one of the bigger seats, they're like the aeroplane type seats, they do lock those doors to get people out. So if you want to get out quickly, you need to stay sort of nearer the restaurants and sit by the sort of table and chairs as we did, and we met a nice Australian that we got talking to the whole time. From England actually originally. So she was nice, and her boyfriend, and then we got off pretty quickly, and then we arrived in Buenos Aires, and we had taken one free day to then go to Tigre the next day, and then it didn't happen because they'd had really bad weather in Buenos Aires, hailstones and out of season kind of weather. And I think that was why the train, which is half the thing, is going on the train to Tigre, we could have got 3 buses or something, but it wasn't the same. So over 24 hours that was completely closed, so no trains were going that way. So we ended up spending a little more time in Buenos Aires than we thought. And then next day we got the bus to the airport to go to Santiago, and that will be our next video from there. We ended up spending longer in Santiago, so that's probably going to be 2 parts, I think.
Yep. So I think the summary of Montevideo was lots of free things to do, lots of walking,
take advantage,
lots of beautiful sunsets, and just a really nice city to walk and cycle around. Absolutely lovely, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the beaches are nice, but not. I wouldn't swim in that water because it is a river, not AC. You have to remember. But keep away from that. But other than that, definitely worth visiting. We did really enjoy it. So we will speak to you from Santiago. Oh, like and subscribe. Any questions, just write them below.